whenever we're looking at a passive verb, it literally kind of like transplants a form of the verb to be within it, right? Just for example, because just the concept of active and passive, because not gonna lie, I deal with a lot of undergrads that actually have not understood the concept of delineating between the two. So if that is you, don't say anything, just absorb the information and then you'll know. Just kidding. I know you guys all know. But some people don't. And honestly, Latin taught me this. I wish my English teachers taught me this because they always told me that my essays were in the passive voice. And I was like, well, teach me how to make it into the active voice because passive makes it wordy. And I thought that saying more made me sound like I knew more. It's not really the case. So I love would be the active form. I am, seeing how that's the form of to be. You could either say I am loved or I am being loved, because that's just kind of showing that be, that to be. And then that's where we get our ablative of agent, right? Our by. I am being loved by someone. Versus I love someone, which actually have two different meanings, right? Someone is being loved by me in the active, but if I keep the same thing, I am being loved by someone, now I'm the one that's being loved. I could switch it around and make it rather say someone is being loved by by me. But you see how that works? It's just kind of like a roundabout way of saying the same thing. But instead, passive is always going to have this ablative of agent, whereas active is always going to have just a direct object. Yeah, it's weird because typically we think about how the expectation of whatever comes after a verb is the direct object, but in the passive voice, it's a little bit of a different circumstance. So with that little bit of a review of what a passive and active voice is, now we got this perfect passive dealio. What I was talking to Connor about before class this morning is the formation of the perfect passive is easy peasy lemon squeezy. All you gotta do, if you don't know, go into your dictionary and look at the fourth principal part of a verb. So, for instance, if I'm doing a mo, it goes a mo. Second, amare, which is also the infinitive. Third is amawi, which is our perfect form in the perfect system. And then autumn. And it will either be amatum, or us, depending on the gender of the one doing the action. Making sense so far? Cool. So this literally is I love, this is to love, this is I loved, having been loved. So far so good. So really what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the participial stem. Looking at this, what do you think the participial stem is? Yeah, it's just a mot. Especially because, as you can see, that looks like the second declension neuter ending. So remember, like I said, present active form is going to decline as third declension, as you guys just did on the quiz. But for the perfect passive, and again also for the future active, and again also for the future passive, aka the gerundive, it will decline second declension. So it's either going to be on, that will trip me up. But we know that, we learned that right off the get-go kind of in Latin 1 there. So there's that. I'll just kind of show it here. Amatus would just be literally, sorry, I just lost my place. Oh, having and loved. There's not much to it. And then as you can see, it will decline as such. And then this is just when, and we'll talk about this because in isolation, we can just decline it, but we'll see how and why it will decline differently within sentence. Context will be really good when we are looking at that more so. But then it would be amatus, And then so we have us. What would be the next one? How about you? All right, Alice, can't do all of them for me. Us, E, O. Caitlin, do you have an idea? It is O. What's that, you, Miranda? Nice. Us, E, O, This is a good review because this is something that we learned right off the get-go, you guys. We should know this. At the here? No.
I'm sorry.
I'm getting you guys to think right now, though. Because if we don't know this right now, we're gonna need to, this is Latin too, guys. Us, E, O, O. What's the plural? Second declension.
Oh, second declension?
Yeah, that's what we were saying. That's why it declines a second declension there, and in the future it's second declension as well. So then it would be E, orum, is, os, is.